Last episode, we prepped and painted the entire front end of Nigel. This episode, we pull apart the dash and reach our first major hurdle.
Wow, that's terrible.
Meaning new skills to be learned and a few failures along the way. Starting with disassembling the dash. A combination of amusement and nervous laughter at the discovery of our steering wheel only being finger tightened on. The most tedious and annoying aspect to this whole process has been the dirty, grimy, rusted little nuts and bolts that take an age to undo. The kookaburras enjoyed watching me struggle though. Another fiddly bolt that needed a little more convincing this time.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's terrible.
Oh, to be Leo. So, this being the way it is, I'm going to try and fabricate something similar. I'm going to keep it really basic, and then if I need to make some alterations, I can, but I think for now I'm fine just keeping it the way it is. But to simplify it, basically I'm not going to do any curved edges because I have no idea how to do that, and it's not really needed. If I can do that, I've got some reminiscent of the van build and the Nigel build. I've got a bunch of doodles, not to scale, but in my mind it all makes sense. I've got a couple of sheets of stuff that I got from Bunnings. I might have a crack at it because right now purchasing one is crazy expensive, and then a lot of places are still closed for the holiday period, so I can't go and speak to a metal fabricator. But even if I sort of go with like half completed stuff, it might be a good idea to then say, hey, will you be able to like finish it for me, or you know, get an idea of what they're working with. But at least if I can get a crack on and see how we go, I might be well in over my head, but that's basically the entire project. So I don't know, it's worth giving it a crack. I've got a bit of time between painting coats and bits and bobs, so, and the engine's still at the engine shop. I can't even remember if I told you, but the engine shop finally opened up, so I managed to drop that off the other day, which is nice to know that that will be getting done. But there's a bit of a backlog there, so it'll be a couple of weeks I think, so it's basically focusing all on this stuff. Let's see how we go. I got some metal cutting jigsaw blades. I'm going to use a jigsaw. People will probably hate me for doing that, but I feel pretty comfortable with the jigsaw and it should cut through pretty thin metal nicely, so I don't know. Don't come at me for that, we'll just see how it goes. Might be a failure, who knows. Reluctant to make the first cut, I stared into the abyss for a while. No toes were harmed in the making of this video, however it is advised that you wear appropriate footwear, not what I'm wearing. After stalling for long enough, it was time to actually get to work. This is probably disgusting for any of you metal workers out there, but given my resources, it's pretty damn good. I'm just not 100% sure of the size
Bloody-o. Wow. Now, the hard part, I need to make one identical to that. Well, that actually, I'm stoked. Sometimes it's nice to just pat yourself on the back, because then you know you've got you've got your work cut out for you next. So just sit in the happiness for a little bit. It's actually not bad. We've got 2 kinks in there that I'll be able to get out. The main thing though is if it matches the other piece. Left to right, pretty close. That's bang on too. I'm chuffed. That's actually legit. I can't believe it. That actually worked. I'm so stoked. I might be yelling at you. I've still got my earmuffs on. Sorry if I am.
And so begins the drawn-out process of me slowly realising that this clamp sucks. And it was at this moment I knew it was going to be a long day.
Perfect, but with a bit of convincing. Proving to be annoying now. Starting to lose my mind a little bit here. Alright. That's actually pretty cool.
Time for a much needed change of pace. I'm painting the inside of all panels with rust bullet, as it's more resilient than normal paint for stone chips, etc. Plus a few of the dash pieces just to seal it up nicely and give it a good black finish. And then it was time for the foam and vinyl. Having never done this before, of course, I was nervous to mess anything up, particularly when using adhesives and expensive fabrics. After a few successes, confidence of course got the better of me. After a brief moment to collect my thoughts, I had thankfully already prepped another piece so I could still use the sticky adhesive already on the vinyl. Learning from my mistakes, I enlisted another set of hands to help, which thankfully worked beautifully. Using pinch weld seals where I could to really add a finished look to the pieces. Now onto the instrument cluster. I started pulling apart the speedo and gauges as they were filthy, filled with sealant, and actually didn't work. Once put back together again, it worked. Sometimes with these old cars, that's all they need. Don't ask any questions, just accept whatever you did happened to fix it. Having already cleaned and painted all plastic dash pieces, it was time to reassemble. On a rainy afternoon in the garage, this was incredibly therapeutic. And just like that, the dash and instrument cluster are complete. Unfortunately, all the dash pieces have to remain disassembled until we reassemble the entire car and then can finally install it. Overall, I am so pleased with how these all turned out and cannot wait to see it put all back together again. Next episode, we get the engine back and finally begin the rebuild process.